Hello, Sarah, Paulina, Misty, Sherry, Elizabeth, Karina Ann, Lisa, Billie Jean, Jessica, Jill, Vanessa, Brianna, Cami, Jennifer, Amy, Mary, Stacy, Yvette, Chloe, and Nikita. I apologize if I have mispronounced any of your names, but I want to say welcome to LOS 400, Ethical Leadership. It's great to see some of you again, and it's great to meet some of you for the first time. I'm looking forward to studying ethical leadership together and having some great discussions. We're going to start off the class with a short paper where you'll have the opportunity to think about what is your definition of ethics, what's the difference between ethics and morality, and what are some of the things that you're hoping to get from this class on ethical leadership. And we'll also dive right into discussion forums. We'll have 2 discussion forums each week in this class. So that means that each of you is expected to have 1 original post in each of the forums, and then 2 posts responding to your fellow students in each of the forums. And there are 20 students in this class, so that adds up to a lot of posts. It's a lot of things for you all to read. And I would just remind you of the golden rule for online posting, that quality is much more important than quantity. And I think that that's an important thing to consider. And it's not just I want you to write less, but writing less and writing clearly and concisely is an extremely valuable skill. As Mark Twain once said, I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one. It's sometimes easier to just put out a whole bunch of stuff out there, and more difficult to concisely communicate something in a brief number of words. So I am going to work on that for this class. I'm going to do my best to be succinct in my posts and my responses to you in my comments, so that I can communicate clearly what's important, but not give you not give you too burdensome an amount of reading to do. So the second assignment, after you do the paper with your definition of ethics, is a reaction paper. We have a lot of different articles and videos and other resources that we're going to be taking a look at, a lot of different points of view, and this will give you an opportunity to think about your response to some of these different points of view, and it'll give you an opportunity to analyze some of these different ways of thinking. Some people that we read, you'll say, yes, absolutely, I totally agree with that. And there are other people where you're going to wonder, how is it possible for anyone to think like that? But as we study these different ways of approaching ethical leadership, it's my hope that not only will we all gain a greater understanding of how others think, but that we'll also gain a greater understanding of how each one of us thinks, that will have more self-awareness about what are the most important ethical guidelines for us, what are the most important values for you, and how do they guide you in your work and in your leadership. And hopefully this will also give you an opportunity to be able to articulate those values and those ethics more clearly, so that when you are in a work situation, in a leadership situation, you'll be able to clearly explain to others what it is that is important to you, and what are the ethics that are guiding you as you make challenging decisions. The next assignment then is a Code of Ethics audit, and you'll notice that assignment is not due until 2 weeks later. So we have a week where we just have 2 discussion forums, and then the audit of the Code of Ethics is due, because that has the potential to be time consuming. Depending on how detailed and how long the Code of Ethics at your organization or the organization you choose to use for this project is it can take a while. And there are guidelines and questions to guide your audit process in the module on Canvas. And if you have any questions about that, of course, you can feel free to contact me. The next project is a case study, and that gives us the opportunity to apply to real-world situation some of the principles and thoughts about ethical leadership that we'll be studying. And that's always an enjoyable exercise to see how some of these ethical guidelines work their way out in a real world situation. Are these ethics able to prevent people from doing things that were harmful? Were they particularly good at enabling people to do the right thing? And I think that's one of the approaches that it might be helpful to keep in the back of your mind, that ethics isn't just about preventing people from doing the wrong thing. It's not just about having a set of rules that will prevent people from doing harm, but it's also creating an environment and a set of values that encourage and enable people to do the right thing. And those two perspectives, those two aspects of ethics are both important and worthy of our consideration. And then the last thing that you'll do is an ethical leadership self-assessment. And this is a chance for you to think about what you've learned in the course and how you might continue to apply some of these things in your ongoing education and career. So I am looking forward to our time together. And if there's any way that I can be helpful, reach out to me. You can contact me, obviously, through Canvas and Baypath email. My cell phone number is also in this announcement and will be at the end of written communications, so you can feel free to call me if communicating voice to voice would be helpful, or if you have something urgent. And of course, you can always send me a text message too. So thanks for being here, and I look forward to our interactions.